I'm on top.
Yo, no, I ain't the type to give up. If I do something, man, I do it till I get what I want. I turn a business out of nothing into something I love. I got a poker face, but honestly, I'm not one to bluff. I flip a switch, never miss, man, I always stay up. Don't let them see you, bitch, always have a plan to stay tough. This life ahead of you ain't easy, it was built to be rough. But that's what makes a personality, is tragedy, bruh. So keep your head on your shoulders. Now we ain't out here moving rocks, we out here moving boulders. Now we ain't getting posterized, we out here making posters, and we ain't got nothing to hide.
What up, what up, what up? Welcome back to Pregaming here on Sports Money. 6 p.m. Monday to Friday. You know what we do. We review line movement, angles, trends, injury updates, the weather reports, you name it, we got it. We talk about all those things that are relative and relevant as we try to build bigger bankrolls. That's right. Let's go. Shout out to Ramon Scott, VBMMA, and boys getting out there doing their thing, giving us some new programming here at Sports Money. You know, we love combat sports. We love the MMA. We love the UFC, and continuing our commitment, trying to find the right programming, the right experienced cappers to help us go out there and crush the books. Going to be a lot of fun to watch that show build and continue to grow followers. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it. If you missed it, check it out. The schedule goes Tuesday, we get the boys coming in there. Wednesday, we followed up with First Strike. That's back to back. We're going to cover a lot of this UFC card in advance of the Saturday live streams. Of course, we'll be live for Penn State Notre Dame on Thursday. And who knows about Friday? I mean, there's a big college football game. But we'll roll back in on Saturday again for that UFC live stream. We start at 3:30. Going to have a little bit of a new formatting process as well. So changes. 2025 is here. We're just a week into the new year. But the future looks bright, you guys. Appreciate everybody rocking with us out there. Hopefully, again, you got a chance to check it out. If you didn't, you can go back and watch it. 30 minutes or so. Quick hit. Take some notes. Prediction is the year of the dog in the UFC, which means we'll make even more money than we were making off those favorites last year. So looking forward to it, you guys. Got a big card on deck tonight. Quite a few hockey games in the NHL. We're going to take 3 of them down. We've got the Ottawa-Detroit spot, St. Louis, Minnesota, and the Vegas Golden Knights, San Jose Sharks. Then we roll on. We're going to go into college hoops. We've got 3 college hoops games. We've got Georgia Tech and Cuse. We've got Tennessee and Florida's the big one, the number 1 versus number 8 challenge out there. And an interesting spot for Tennessee as a dog. We'll see how that unfolds. Then we've got Georgetown and Marquette. That's another big battle in college hoops that we're going to take down tonight. Then we'll roll on over. We'll put the high tops on and get into the association. We've got the Lakers and Mavericks and 2 spots in the Miami Golden State game for the late night special. Also, I neglected to identify, I added a new play as well. So there's one more hockey play we'll slip in there. We're going to have a 4-pack in hockey tonight. It's only right. Get this action, get this cash from the bookies. What do you guys think about that? We'll fire off a quick recap here from yesterday. We gained just over 3 units. And look, the best part about tracking this stuff on BetStamp, you get to see how these plays are done. You get to see how this thing is growing. When I talk about a 3-unit night, you can go back and evaluate it yourself. We cashed big in the NHL last night. We had the Back from Vegas series, especially now if it's a East Coast team coming back from a game in Vegas. It's their first home game back. It's now 13-1-1. We got easy money out there with that Buffalo-Washington game. The best part is when you got an over 6 and you see it go 3-3, what's happening? You cash. Doesn't even matter who wins the game. Buffalo did take down the Washington Capitals in a shootout. Sharp Report was all over the Sabres last night, so that is worth noting. Colorado, we got a big win with the Colorado Avalanche, 3-1 over the Florida Panthers. We were all over that spot there. Not a bad price for them, Colorado Avs. I'm telling you, I think you got to look at some of these lines and say, what are they begging you on? Now, some people might look at that and say they're begging you to take Colorado. I defer. I look at this thing and I think they wanted you to take this Florida Panthers team, the Stanley Cup champions, coming out here playing hot, goalies getting ready, and it was a dog? Yep, we analyzed and identified and hammered away at that. A little sweaty to close the night out, but was backstage with some of the fellas. We were watching the FCS. I want to shout out Nut Flush Allen hooking us up with some second half FCS plays out there. But man, the Devils and the Kraken, believe you me, there were some plus 400 under sixes on my card in that game because it was a 3-2 finish. And we had to sweat that whole third period out. But that was a huge moneymaker. And it was a withdrawal night. Had to take some cash out. Literally, when you're popping plus 400s, plus 350s, plus 300s, plus 275s, plus 250s, a little bit of a wild man. But it cashed out, played well for us. College hoops, we did. Houston, what I tell you, the home court in Houston is one of the most fierce in the country. The first half under 60 and a half. 29-22, never in doubt. Remember, we talked about that. We're used to seeing 58s and 56 and a halves. We're going to see those again with Houston if they keep playing the way they are. But when it's 60 and a half, we're going to take advantage. Sadly, though, the minus 12 didn't show itself, so there was no live betting opportunity there. But Grambling, man, they lost by 5 in overtime. What a heartbreaker. Like, lose by 1. And, anyhow, it was a split there in college hoops. The NBA, so-so. Look, the Clippers in the under, the Clippers did not hit. They were up, and then they were down. Then they were back up. Then they went down again. But the under 214 and a half did hit. So there goes a plus 310 out the back door. That thing would have been a monster. That would have just changed the night entirely. We did cash the 2-player parlay at plus 227. Barnesy over 19 and a half points. I think he finished at 21, which is impressive. Because I think he ended the first quarter at 0. So we got in and we got on that thing. And then there's our boy Boos. Comes through. I know we were talking backstage. We were laughing fourth quarter like, he's 1 of 8. What's going on? They're down. Get this guy back out there and shooting. And he splashed one home for us and got that cash. But the Sixers busted me up. They did me dirty. What are you going to say? 109.99. But a profitable day. So we'll take it. We'll just talk about it. Transparency is important. Probably the most important thing we do here. And that being said, we'll move forward. Again, a big card tonight. Fired up for it, you guys. I think this is a great night of action. 1-0. You know, we did give Aaron Rodgers a chance to take himself off the shit list. And he's off. The Capitals, however, remain firmly placed on the shit list. So they're not going anywhere anytime soon. At least I don't think so. We'll see. We'll see how that works out. I'll tell you, there's a bunch of spots, too, that I'll just share some thoughts on tonight from a side perspective. There's a couple of players coming back in some games that I think is worth noting just to start keeping our eyes on these teams. And these are important because as we talk about some of these changes, these are live betting opportunities. So I hope when we talk about writing these things down, you guys take that away. It's important that we have a strategy. And if we're just a little off the mark, don't be afraid to go back after there. Some of these unders in the NHL over the last couple of days, they've been tag, and tag again. I forgot the game 2 days ago went for up to a 7.5. Took it back down to 6.5, and it was a plus 200 spot. So, you know, when we talk about these games and we analyze things, don't panic. Maybe take a look for an opportunity to, you know, if you take a plus 250 and you throw another half a unit live on it, you're back over a plus 100 spot out there when it comes down to the net brass tacks of things. So it's going to be a fun night tonight, though. Really excited about this card. We're at that point. You guys know the deal. We need your help to grow this thing, and that comes by way of you smashing that like button for us. Helps us grow, helps YouTube promote us across like-minded folks like us, gamblers, sharp bettors, trying to build bankrolls. And when those folks come in and share their best bets, we make even more money. So let's go. If you guys can do me the favor, close the comment section, hit that thumbs up button, and then pop back in, and we'll get back to business. How about that? It's that time. Pen and paper out. After you've hit that thumbs up, please take a moment to make sure you do that for us here. Just trying to grow. Need your guys' help to promote the brand. More content coming your way. More opportunities to make money. And we're open for suggestions. So I know a lot of you guys have reached out to me for some plays here and there. Feel free to do so on X. Let us know if there's something you guys want us to talk about. If there's an event coming up that you want us to cover for you, we'll find some experts, if we're not there, to do it ourselves. And we'll try to make some more money together. This is a community. It's us. First, those bookies. We're all trying to get that cash. Get your pen and paper out. You know the deal. It's time to write down some of these trends, some of these future circle dates, all the things that we're talking about for later, live betting, all the rest. The best in the business gather right here to share their favorite plays. They've been grinding on the card all day. It's been marinating. Now it's time to throw that shit on the grill and get to eat. How about that? And then, of course, make sure you put your best bets in the chat so we can talk about them. Commenter numero uno pops us off again. No surprise, it's my guy, Joe T. Jover, J.O., as we call him. Cincinnati Baylor. He's going on the over at 138.5 for Jover. Starting us off, Cincinnati and Baylor taking the over 138.5. Shut the Ron Lofton. Says Mike made me good money. Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that. Appreciate you, Ron Lofton. Thank you for saying that as well. Love to hear about you guys making money. Let's go. Barry's in the house. Says, let's hit these books where the sun don't shine. He had Morgan State first half. Got that cash. Let's go. Shout out to you. Congrats, Barry. Robert McCormick's here. There's Keith from Each and Every Stride. Looking forward to hearing the plays, he says. Shout out to Brandon Whedon. Good to see you back, my dude. Says, what up? Shout out to you. Barry shouting out VBMMA picks. Hell yeah, man. We got some. We're growing, baby. We're growing. Got some folks that want to get engaged and help us make more money. So let's do that. Shout out to Gonzo. He's got his best bets over there on the community tab. Of course, you found the sub club today. That action was posted out there for you guys. And the community tab. There's no charge to get these community tab plays. You check them out. Sub comes in and gives you that Newcastle first half spot. Easy casher for the sub club. Continues to rain terror down on the bookies. Shout out to Old E. There's Redbeard says lots of good NHL action tonight. Nicholas Handy's here. Stop Geo Textiles. And there's T-Moss. There's our guy T-Moss. Says, good evening, fam. Good evening, T-Moss. It's good to see you back here, my friend. The Futon Bets. Ducks money line. Sup, buddy? Let's get this cash. Anaheim Ducks. It was like Duana Ducks. Duana, man? Let's go. Nasty Nate, of course, a.k.a. the wrench, a.k.a. the mechanic. Says hit the like, or you don't use soap in the shower. You don't want to be the stinky guy. That is for sure. So hit the like button. Do us all a favor. No one likes the stinky guy. Can't believe how trash TCU is at sports money. Put me in, coach. Yeah. Yeah, I thought that was going to be a blowout. I was a little nervous about the high number that it was, but hey, we got our money. We got our money in that spot. Damon Waring's in the house. Let's smash the bookies tonight, he says. Robert McCormick says, the afternoon soccer was very kind to me today. Ready for the evening action. We got you guys covered. You know what? Where else do you find all this action? All day long. Afternoon European soccer action. We got look-aheads for the MMA and the UFC. We're giving you guys the daily cards. We start off with Ramon Scott in the morning steam. We fire it back up here at Pregaming, 6 p.m., Monday to Friday. Sir Mackey says, soap's bad for your skin. We'll get you a loofah. Get you a loofah, my guy. Irish King, Dana Delp's here. Crew is assembled. There's my guy, Joe Dub in the house. It's going to be a big night, you guys. I got that feeling. It's going to be you know the one. Jay Main, David Wallace. Let's go, you guys. Appreciate everybody rocking here. Jay Main's got some updates for us here. Says Braun, PRA line hitting 70% last 10 games and 70% hit rate last 10 versus the Mavs. Does that mean it's a LeBron triple-double night? Rick J. WTA tennis for my parlay today. Cash. Won last night. Early rounds are predictable. I love to hear that. I told the story about how I had an acquaintance, and all she did was bet huge favorites in Grand Slam events. And the one year she got cooked. Woo! It was all a dog. It was like 8 dogs. And she was laying dimes on 18K favorites. Woo! Woo! She was bitter for a while after that. Shout out. Ron Lofton says, my best bet tonight is Michael Porter Jr. over 23.5 points and rebounds. Derek Davis. The Greek Freak triple-double last night was plus 600. Woo! Let's go. AOD. Can't wait. The Rock Sports Money hoodies daily. We got stuff coming, you guys. More coming. We told you. We've been talking about it. Lots of things coming down the pike. We appreciate you guys supporting us. It does mean an absolute ton. Again, without you guys, we've got nothing. So we do this collectively together. There's a question There's a question from Damon Waring. All right, Damon, let me take a second. I think this is important to note. I always love when you guys ask these questions because I will take the opportunity to show you. This is something that the boys, Joe T's been spearheading the charge in the community tab, and the fellas are all contributing. It's been a great ride. These guys are giving you their best bets. Sometimes we don't have time to shoot the videos live, or it's a quick afternoon play that pops up with the, we love to look at line movements and trends. And in this case here, we post those plays on the community tab. You'll see home, you'll see videos, you'll see shorts, you'll see live, playlist, and then there's community. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over to the right. Once you slap on that community, look at all the stuff in here. There's the sub club. There's that Newcastle play that was out there. Here's Gonzo's best bets for the day. Dallas Stars in regulation, Detroit Red Wings, and the Toronto Leafs. And you see Joe T's action coming in. He had a 3-0 day yesterday. Monday recap plus 3.5 units. That was sitting out here on the community tab. His F your under plays of the day. He likes the Senators and Red Wings today over 5.5. And the Blue Jackets and Penguins over 6.5. And it goes on. These posts right here have been fire. These things are hitting at almost a 70% rate when we post these things out there. When you're looking for last minute action or you're trying to figure out how you want to bet this Notre Dame or Penn State game, keep in mind, as you guys are making those polls, you're cashing it over 70, almost 70%, just under, I think it's 69% now. It's been a phenomenal run out there. Sadly, we had this collab. Sometimes we use this to communicate. That didn't cash, and then there's the sub club again from yesterday. So that's where you find the community tab again at the top when you get onto the Sports Money YouTube page. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 over. Give it a click, and it'll bring you into any of the action that's out there. Of course, smash that thumbs up button. And of course, make sure you guys do follow the Sports Money Wins account over there on Twitter. That's where you'll find out when this information drops. Put your notifications on. Shout out to our guy, VB MMA Picks. Just thank you for those who joined us in the chat for the VB MMA Picks show with Ramon Scott. And thanks to the Sports Money Network for allowing us to stream on this exciting new channel. Thank you. VB, we're so excited to have you be a part of this thing that we're building here. And we love the combat sports arena, but specifically we are UFC, LFA, and Bellator PFL enthusiasts. So we're so excited to get to have the opportunity to work with you and cash your best bets, and hopefully we'll give you a couple as well. So appreciate you guys rocking. Going to be a lot of fun to go through this card tonight. Let's get to work. How about that? We got Ramon Scott popping in. Of course, a lot of love here. We got T. Moss shouting out VB MMA. Bunch of you guys. It was awesome to see you guys pop in there. We appreciate that. Look for that content on Tuesdays. There's Joe W. shouting out VB MMA. Appreciate you guys, man. This is going to be a ton of fun as we build this thing out. You know what the deal was last year? We had to get the plane in the air. Then we start fixing the wings, but we had to fly. So we're flying as we fix these wings, but it's been a profitable venture thus far. So we appreciate you guys, and hopefully you're ready to roll with us. So let's go. Let's keep this thing moving. Let's get to work. We got a bunch of hockey plays out there. I changed the order a little bit and finished off with the NBA because some of this college basketball starts at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we don't want anybody to miss that action that's out there. Rule number 1, don't look at yourself on the camera. You start looking at like the collar. Is my collar up? Why is my collar buffed up like that? But we're going to get into the NHL, and you know how we roll. Sometimes we'll use the cash flow splits as a weather vane to kind of see which way the wind is blowing, but predominantly, I don't care. We put up 62 units last year, not really paying much attention whatsoever to the cash flow splits and just leveraging trends. Trends are our friends till the end. And let's talk about this Ottawa Senators Detroit Red Wings game. We know when it comes to the Sens, what are they doing in goal out here? Well, they were first to commit to us. They showed us that they're going to Anton Forsberg between the pipes. And he's having a tough year. He's below that serviceable threshold at 3.04 goals against average and an 88.5% save percentage. What's troubling, he does have 2 shutouts. So he's 4-7. He's got some pathetic numbers, but he does have 2 shutouts in there. So why is he going in? Well, we got the injury bug floating around the NHL, and Linus Ullmark will be out again. Second straight start against the Red Wings. Will we see Forsberg out there? And good bounce back opportunity. He struggled 4 goals on 25 shots. I know a lot of this stuff on the left hand here when we talk about Forsberg looks like doom and gloom. On the other side, we look at Alex Lion. I don't care. Philadelphia Flyers reject. 8-5 with a 2.77 goals against average and an 89.9% save percentage. That's an important place to park. We've got less than serviceable for Forsberg, but comparably less than serviceable for Lyon. So that does not give us any type of a goaltending advantage one side or the other. Then we look deeper and we see the Red Wings are on a 4-game winning streak, and they do have 3 with Lyon in the pipes. So that is a little bit troubling because we got a guy that's running hot. He came off a 21 of 23 save percentage against the Winnipeg Jets. The Red Wings, of course, firing. And who's not firing? The Senators. They've been outscored 8-2 during a 2-game losing skid. I had the opportunity to talk to a couple of the fellas earlier today, specifically about this scheduling spot. And so you guys know we like to look at all kinds of things, but now we're getting to that meat of the season where we can start to utilize some of these scheduling opportunities to try to make a hypothesis around how we think the game plan is going to go. Oh, there's another word of the day is the hypothesis, huh? And we look at the Senator spot. Here's what's important to know. Ottawa Senators, coming off a loss. This is the last game of that 9-game road trip I've been talking smack about since before Christmas. And we cashed on it early. And they got to the middle. What's the point? Well, they're 4-4 on the last game of a 9-game road trip. This is going to be the lengthiest the road trip they'll have on the season. Next they go home, they play none other than the lowly Buffalo Sabres. So, cross the look-ahead option off the list. I think these boys want to finish this road trip hard. And it's 17-18, just 9-10 at home. There's not really a decided home advantage for these Red Wings. Also, maybe a little collective exhale because they did just beat the Jets on the road 4-2. They had a back-to-back road trip with this shit little schedule spot stepped in between here against this Ottawa Senators team. What we also do have is a position where we've got teams that are coming off a loss in the division, going against the team that's coming off a win. We love those sell high, buy low scenarios. And we're presented with that here in this game. I think this is a spot where we want to see this Ottawa Senators team finish strong. Well, frankly, my money wants to see this Ottawa Senators team finish strong to get this big road trip out of the way. The losses that they took in this road trip, though, I mean, look, not for nothing. The teams they lost to, pretty solid in their own rights. Edmonton, they took the L against Dallas. They took the L against Winnipeg. And on top of that, they're coming off of getting shut out. That makes me smile. All day long, I've been looking at this one. Divisional road favorites coming off a loss, facing the opponent coming off a win. What does that mean? Well, 50 units over the course of tracking in this position here. I'm firing in. I know the underdog has gone 7 straight of 8 at Little Caesars, but we're not talking a march. We're not talking a significant dog. We're talking an opportunity to whack this Ottawa Senators team, and we're taking them at a -115. So give me Ottawa. Let's see them. They've got to finish this road trip strong. Biggest spot of the season, and they're right there. 5-4 when you play the best teams in the league after the 9-game road trip right around the holidays. Got to be a motivation spot. Hopefully the legs don't gas out as they get rolling, but I like what we're seeing there. I think it's a great opportunity to bang in and take Ottawa Senators. Let's see what you guys have to say in the chat. Team Boss, do you have to be a member to get the community tab? Look at my phone and on the PC. You don't. The community tab's there. Now, we do release plays specific for members, specific member-only plays, but you do not have to be a member. They are public viewing for the majority. Typically what we'll find, T-Moss, is when we get to times where we're not on the air, when we're not doing live shows, sometimes if it's an afternoon start in basketball or football or something, then we might drop a couple specific to our members. But the majority of the community tab is 100% no cost for you guys. But we do appreciate it if you do take the opportunity to become a member. C. James in the house says, won't quit till I'm on top. Sports money. Let's go. Ron Lofton took the over in that Ottawa game. And away we go. Kev's Nate, what's the parlay of the day? Public Storage is Ola. I bet them all. Minnesota beat the Blues and the total parlay. Fuck St. Louis, he says. There's Justin McGalvey giving us the sports money is money. We're working on some things, you guys. Nope. Just cocktails. Just vodka, specifically. Just vodka. And you guys know the deal. Nobody drinks vodka better than me. I'll stand on it. Because that's how we roll. Subhuman's giving you some UFC action. There you go. It's important now that we start taking advantage, especially if we're looking at cards that do feel like they're a dog card, that we have to be cognizant of that, because dogs, they'll probably shrink as they get closer to, those lines will become less wide, as my friend Subhuman Gaucho likes to say. Let's move into game number 2. Actually, I'll take a quick detour. We got a Shark Chaser special here. Steam coming in late. And line's starting to react. So we wanted to take advantage of this one quickly, mightily here. We're going to look at this. I know there's no graphic for it. This is just a late ad. It was a big hockey. I'll tell you what, I love all these hockey games today. I could take the Dallas under, and I could give you some trends that support the Dallas under spot. Dallas on the road as a favorite is an under position. It's hard to separate that. Why I cut it was because Dallas seems to be an under team everywhere they go. They do have Ottinger coming back from rest and quick in goal. Carolina and Tampa Bay. That's got potential playoff situation and implications written behind it. I'm not a big fan of Kochetkov with the Carolina Hurricanes, but Tampa Bay's coming back from that roadie. Columbus and Pittsburgh. I almost fired in on the Penguins. How about this? And maybe this is something you guys want to take advantage of. It's not intersecting zeros, but it's pretty damn close. The Penguins as home favorites at home. Remember the other day we talked about Chris Letang coming back in the lineup, ready to go. They're getting healthy. They're starting to get back to their ways, and goaltending starting to pick up. They're 6-1 at home as favorites. And then the question would be, well, how does Columbus do on the road as a dog? Great question. Glad you asked. 3-12 on the road as Columbus as a dog. So not quite intersecting zeros, but something that was worth noting. The spot that I did want to get involved with, though, we look at this Boston game, and I jumped in on this under. Again, Shark Chaser. We got Skinner and Swayman. Now, clearly Skinner, 15-8, winning mightily with a 2.78 goals against average and an 89.8% save percentage. The 3-game winning streak the Oilers are on, they've been busting teams up. They're outscoring them 11-5. It's impressive. And Skinner's been playing well. This is the part that I like about this. 92.4% in his last 5 games, he's been saving the puck. So 89.8, but 92.4. Up is the trajectory that we see with Skinner and goal. And why is that important? Because we have a shit team in the Bruins that can't score right now. They find themselves on a 4-game losing streak. And Swayman's the issue, I think, to some degree, for sure. Not all his fault, but he did allow 4 goals in his last game. It was a 6-4 loss to the Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs shelled this dude. But he is back home. He is in a bounce-back spot. He plays better at home. We just need some goals to be kept off the board in this one. Sharps loved it at 6. It's starting to see 5.5s. I jumped in at the 6. I think I got it at minus 115. The NHL, I've got the Edmonton and Boston game. I think this is a lower, slower type of pace. And there's 5.5s out there. I like the juice at the minus 115 on the 6 because you got the built-in push. And financially speaking, 5.5s at around plus 1 or at even money. I'll pay that extra. I mean, think about it. If you're paying a minus 110 and a 5.5, you're only paying an extra nickel to have that push in your back pocket. So just something to bear in mind as we look at some of these games. But, to me, I mean, yeah, you can catch plus money spot with that Oilers Bruins under 5.5, but what, plus 105? No, I'm not going to mortgage that opportunity to pass away on a chance to get that push in my back pocket. But I think we do see lower scoring. I think we see something like that Devils and Kraken game last night. Don't forget that Devils Kraken situation. Talked about it. New Jersey against the Pacific Division. On the road. Under. Junder. How about that? Jover. It's a junder. See, James, there's so many college games on the slate. There are. Big Scott because Oilers -1. I get down with that. So there's smoke and mirrors. There's my buddy. My buddy's ready to roll. Eric James says Kessler has the closest match, but she has way more power. I love you guys sharing tennis plays, man. I haven't quite gotten back into the tennis game yet, but let's keep her going. Brisk pace, lots of games. We got college basketball that's going to start at 7 o'clock, so we got to get moving. Let's keep her going. See if we can get this thing knocked out of the park here in time for everybody to go out there and place these bets and get this cash with me. The game we're going to talk about next is the St. Louis Blues and the Minnesota Wild. Slugfest. Now, I'll tell you, sharp bettors poking in on the St. Louis Blues team. Did make the Steam report on my Steam report for this spot. But, ultimately, I told you guys this the other day. We're coming into a certain season in the year. And we have to be cognizant of it because this isn't baseball. In the middle of the season, they don't want to have juiced pucks. We got Jordan Binnington coming out there in the pipes. He's struggling. He's 11-14-3. Sometimes I wonder if the Sharps buy the number or the belief in the team. Regardless, this number has come way down. So this is one of those spots where I'll let you know with the Sharps chasing this thing, even though you've got 87% of the bets and 88% of the cash, this line's come down from +130 to +118. So maybe Sharps isn't the best word. Maybe it's respected bettors. It's the guys that they're watching them just look at their phones and they're watching them circle around, waiting for the line to drop, and then they pop it. And it dropped from 130 to 118. So there is some merit to be had behind maybe taking a look at this St. Louis Blues side of things. Binnington's the trouble for me. Yeah, 2.79 goals against average, 89.9% save percentage, and 3 shutouts. Dude's got a 3-pack. It's bad. But 20 saves, 3rd shutout of the season. He just shut down that Ottawa Senators team that we talked about. On the flip side of things here, we've got Gustafsson going, the number 1 guy for the Minnesota Wild. He does have an 18-6-3 record, a 2.28 goals against average, and a 92.6% save percentage. 3 shutouts under his record as well. So they got their number 1 guy. He's playing borderline Vezina Trophy style. And yet the St. Louis Blues are scaring the books. Should be a red flag if you're looking at good old Minnesota in this spot. But Gustafsson, he came off a shutout. So we got 2 goalies coming off the shutouts. And further than that, let's go one step further. St. Louis scored 4 or more goals in 6 straight. They're coming into the potential division champs here as we fast forward through the season. But what do we know about the Wild as a favorite at home? 2 things we know about it. 1, they don't perform. The Wild in the favorite role at home are 4-10-1. But the spot that caught my attention, the under is 10-5 in favor of the under when the Minnesota Wild are home favorites. And what do we have? The line opened as high as 6.5 in the look-ahead spots. It's all the way down to 5.5. And we have 84% of the bets and 91% of the cash. Oh, yeah, I'm taking a shot with this under in this game here. I got the 5.5. I better double check. Actually, let me double check. My action at BetStamp. That's where you can find it. Yeah. The under 5.5 at -115 for me in this game. It's a St. Louis Blues special. They're another one of those under teams that I look to take advantage of. And we're going to take advantage indeed. So we will keep her rolling, keep her moving, keep this brisk pace moving with you guys. Appreciate you hanging out here tonight. If you haven't, hit that thumbs up. Appreciate you guys taking the time to do just that. Ramon always bringing the goods. Man, just came off his show, and he's still coming out to give you guys updates out here. Jokic, questionable tonight versus Boston. The line is moving to 8 now. I am coming off a triple-double. I'd be surprised if he does play. I would be surprised if he does play, Ramon. Interesting. Gonzo says that, Barry, we don't like it either, but it happens sometimes. Big Scott was about in regulation for the Oilers. Public storage says St. Louis. First game was fun. They shot over 30 attempted shots. I'll send you the book. Derek B, what up? Derek B says Derek White's out. Joker questionable. There's Swizz. Top Swizz says, yo. Let's go, you guys. Appreciate you spending the time here with us here as we go through this card. Trying to move fast. Got a lot of plays to get to. Want to make sure I give you guys the trends and these are my plays. These are the plays I'm on. I'll share some recommendations, of course, as well. But hey, they're my best bets. I like them for a reason. I'm trying to give you guys those reasons why I like them. And again, we've been very profitable over the last season and a half tracking this publicly to get this job done. So I hope you guys enjoyed this. And I enjoyed this last spot. We've got the Vegas Golden Knights and the San Jose Sharks for the late night special. Shine your light on me. We got Samsonov, who has been firing 10-3-1 is Samsonov for the Vegas Golden Knights. He's got a 2.9% goals against average and a 90.7% save percentage. That gives us better than serviceable, but below elite. Somewhere in between. Top 10 NHL numbers, maybe? Top 10, we'll say. We'll just call it top 10. I don't have the data in front of me officially. Hopefully, soon we'll be able to have some of that kind of stuff out there. But the Golden Knights, 8-1, and their last 9 are on fire right now. Samsonov only allowed 7 goals in 5 games. He's on fire right now. The Sharks are on a 2-game winning streak. And who are they going to? Georgetown. Him. Terrible in Colorado. 9-11 on the season. And look at these numbers. 3.55 goals against average. 87.3% save percentage. You can see, if you hear me when I talk about these numbers, the shift. We talked about how Mackenzie Blackwood was playing well despite being on a shit team. He just didn't have the win-loss record. Now we see a bad goalie going on to a shit team, and he's kind of struggling. He's allowed 4 more goals in 4 straight, and that's how you go 0-4. He's got an 87.3% save percentage on the season. He's at 87.2 over those 4 games. And now you got the Sharks coming in here. They just got busted up 2 weeks ago by this Vegas Golden Knights squad. This is one of those opportunities here where I just don't. This is going to be an outmatch festival right now. Vegas is a big favorite for a reason. San Jose at home. On the back. What are you going to say? 3.38 goals against at home, and they scored just 2.86. So just average over the course of the time. They're just not a winning team. And of course, getting rid of Blackwood, where we see Georgiev coming in, probably bottom 10 of the league. So we're coming up with a little picture here, a little scenario where we stack rank. The most important asset on the team is the goaltenders, and we see that Vegas, in beat the shit out of a mode, is firing on all cylinders. Aiden Hill's the guy. He's 9th of 60 goaltenders on the season, and he's allowing just 2.58, but obviously we don't get Aiden Hill tonight. And I don't really care. How about that? I don't see how Vegas doesn't go out there and kick the absolute dog shit out of this team. 27-9 against the spread. So land the puck line is the absolute best record in the NHL. Could not resist taking this -1.5 for this Vegas Golden Knights. And it was -105. So low vig to take a shot with a team that's the best in the NHL with top 10 goaltender against a bottom 10 goaltender and all the reasons I just gave you that I think this makes a lot of sense. So let's finish the NHL card off and go to Vegas -1.5. And look at that -105. Start to Mel. Appreciate Mel rocking here with us today. Sir Mackie Loves Pie likes the Red Wings money line. Stars -1.5. Public Storage says mad -240. No Vegas and over on the same ticket ever hit. Shout out to Barry. Appreciate you rocking. Big Scott upping his membership. Says, J-Man, I like to split the bet on the money line and the -1.5 for the option to push if they win in overtime. You don't want to quite do a full split. If you look at that -1 calculator, it's not quite an even split, but it's pretty darn close. I guess it depends on the odds, but I like that adage, Big Scott, for sure. I try to do a lot more -1s than regulations. I'll tell you a team I do think wins in regulation tonight, though. I think the Penguins win this thing in regulation. I just got the sneaky feeling, given those two situations with those two teams. Not to go back to it, I don't know if I want to add yet another one out there. Mel says, Mike, Vegas to be the highest scoring team of the night is +900. Look at that little nugget. +900 to be the highest scoring team of the night. That's going to be one you have to get on early. You can't wait till the games start to figure that one out. So if you're going to follow Mel with that one, plus 900 is a great number. And look, we just talked about all the reasons why that's a great spot. That's a great look. Thank you for sharing, Mel. Let's go. Let's roll over to the college hardwood. Let's get these boys high tops on. Let's get them out there ready to make us some money. And Rick J says, at the tank. I don't care if they're playing in a community parking lot. San Jose is brutal. They're just bad. We talked about it. I know they're on a 2-game winning streak, but got to fade them boys at the Shark Tank, in my estimation. All right, let's move into college. We do focus in on the splits when it comes to the college hoops. Like to see what the cash flow and line movement is doing there. Predominantly because these are a little bit heavier bet spots, right? So the NHL kind of ranks down there around the WNBA in terms of betting percentages. That must make me a true degen because I love betting hockey and I like betting the WNBA. But there's bigger ticket counts here, and then we can start to get some sharper bettors and see the reactions. I'm going to pop off at 7 p.m. right up there in central New York. Georgia Tech plays Syracuse, and we've got a reverse line movement alert. 72% of the bets and 68% of the cash are on Georgia Tech, and they are sitting right around, well, I guess not reverse line movement, but it's not really moving, period. Kind of got a static number, flat number. The total's dropping with 49% of the bets and 50% of the cash. This 156.5 has come down to 153. You know, people can argue about where the splits open and this and that. I wouldn't. I want the first number on the street. I don't want the books that are going to handicap the books that open their number first. I want the first number, very first one to hit the street. And then I want to see what those other books are doing. That's a big difference between what we do here and elsewhere. And overall, we look at this cash flow on the money line. When it's a tight spot like this, we have 62% of the bets and 76% of the cash on Cuse. It has dropped. It has dropped almost 25 cents. So that is worth noting. Big money coming in on Cuse money line. Big money coming in on Georgia Tech +1. So right on the surface here, 8-7 Georgia Tech, 6-8 Syracuse Orange. They're thinking this is going to be a tight battle. I don't disagree. I certainly don't. And there's no question that Syracuse has been struggling, right? I mean, if they're going to get their season rolling, it's got to be now. They just got busted up by Florida State, 90-74. They sat around for the last 2 days thinking about that humiliating loss. They also lost prior to that back-to-back home games. Bucknell beat them up 75-63. Wake Forest beats them up 81-71. And then you got this Georgia Tech team rolling into town, and they're firing. They've won 4 of their last 5 games. Feeling pretty darn good. Took down Boston College, always a formidable competitor out there in the Big East, and they got 85-64. I'm sorry, the ACC. Woo! Then they got a big win against Notre Dame, 86-75 as well. They bust up. Man, I mean, look at these numbers. Laying 21.5. They did lose to Duke, 82-56. But herein lies the question. What the hell's going on with this line? Why is Cuse sitting there as a 1-point favorite when they're so damn bad and they're on a bad losing streak? I tell you, we got the key to the decision makers at the sports book, and we're going to unlock and ask them what they say. And what they're saying here is you got a Syracuse team that's won 8 in a row at home. 8 in a row at night at home. Let me rephrase that. 8 in a row at night at home. Out in Syracuse in the evening. A lot of corporate sponsors, a lot of companies get involved. Guys got to travel in from, Rochester and Utica. That's the team. So the night games are important because it's not so easy getting up at noon or I guess you got to get up at probably 9 to travel in from out of town for those spots on a Saturday afternoon game. But the crowd gets raucous. The fans, the stands are popping, and you see that as evidence in an 8-0 spot out there. 6 wins at home this year. They're terrible on the road. They're really good in the Carrier Dome, and that's worth noting. But the big factor we have here, Georgia Tech has been allowing points. 75 or more in 4 of their last 8. And this is the spot. This is the 3-3 spot. When you got a team that's got 3 losses and you got it in a row, and you got a team that's got 3 wins in a row, could that not be the ultimate buy low, sell high if you're looking at Syracuse? And what do those teams do? They're 234 and 128. They're 212 and 142 against the spread. I arrived at this thing being a get your shit together or pack it up and call the season quits opportunity here. If you're looking for motivation, no more motivation exists than right now. And this Syracuse team's got to fire, or this season is going to get away from them quickly. And we've got a big 2-to-1 ratio and a big sample size with 3 wins versus 3 losses. The buy low position of the century happens to be the Syracuse Orange. And we'll take them in a minus 111. How about that? Smoke says frozen lime, loves it. Sir Mackey loves pie. Ball State. I didn't look at Ball State. Nasty Knight says Q's first half. Let's go, Nasty Nate. I might even add that one. Mel likes Vegas and Calabrini, 3+ shots on goals. Calabrini's on the San Jose Shark side of things, makes that a plus 127. Coin likes the, Thomas Maggio, Thomas. This is at Coin. I like the Pelicans, plus 4.5. And Public Storage. 8 in a row is a key Colorado Kobe record. Don't bet it. Duke gets shut down, question mark, from Sir Mackey Loves Pie. And here's Juggler 23. Home teams playing a 4th straight home game are 34 and 18, 34-17, and 1 against the spread. Hosting teams playing in away to away back-to-back games over the last 2 seasons. Another trend favoring Georgia State. At least you didn't say Georgia Tech. How about that, Cuse? We'll keep it loose with the Cuse, and we'll keep it rolling with a brisk pace. This game's got to be exciting. If you like college basketball, this has got to be the one, right? You got number 1 Tennessee coming in, undefeated on the year. You guys remember the deal. The first number we talk about is the season record. The second number we talk about is the conference record. And look, Florida State's not playing bad themselves. I'm sorry, Florida Gators. Not playing bad on their own accord. Is it going to be enough? Does somebody know something? Because when you look at this thing, why is the number 8 team favored by 3.5 points? Overall, with the cash flow on this game, we've seen, here's the deal. So this is one of the things. Now they've taken the lines down. There's no more visibility. Sorry. You got to tune into Pregaming if you want to hear what happened in this line movement throughout the day. Cash was coming in on Florida. They opened up plus 1.5. They went to 2.5. It's got almost a 51,000 ticket sample to it. In the grand scheme of things, that Syracuse game, 7,700 tickets. So this line is getting pounded. Everyone wants to get action on this game because it's such a big battle. It's going to be a nationally televised game. It should be a lot of fun. Undefeated versus a 1-loss program. I would say program. I might start saying program. Minus 1.5. This one is high as 3.5 for Tennessee. It's back down to 3, and it's going down to 2.5. So the Sharps came in. They took some Florida. It got all the way up to 3.5, and they started buying back in at 3.5. The line went from 148, the back number, 148.5, to 152s. So we're seeing an expectation of points. I will tell you, I was a smidge away from just dropping in on Tennessee to whack these boys. Yeah. I know the situation, and I see that the lesser-ranked team is – this ain't college football. Florida's coming off that loss to Kentucky. Excuse me. Yeah, Kentucky. 12-2 Kentucky. But Tennessee's wrong. They're firing on all cylinders right now. You kind of look back at who they only played Arkansas in conference, but they busted them up 76-52. They were laying 11.5. They whacked them. The books don't even know how good this team is because they probably functioned. They played Norfolk State. They played Middle 10, West Carolina. They did have that big battle against Illinois way before Christmas, and they won 66-64. That Illinois win, that was on the road, and that Illinois team is 7-3. So we have a spot where we know these boys can travel. We'll see if the test is made tonight. But the big thought I looked at here, Tennessee, when the total's less than 167.5, and they scored 80 or more points the previous game. So a tighter line than the previous total, and scored 80 or more points. I'm sorry, not previous total. Total less than 167.5, and they're playing teams who scored 80 or more points. I read that wrong. 14-0. It's a perfect 14. It doesn't matter how it is. Tennessee's in a 14-0 spot. How about that? They're 3-0 on the road this season against the spread. And what makes it so challenging in this Tennessee game is their defense. They're methodical. They kind of rank somewhere in that, this not quite Virginia's and Houston's, but they like to keep a slow pace. And it's on the road, and we know defense likes to travel. What does Florida like to do? Florida is a run and gun team. They're averaging 88.3 points a game. They like a fast pace. They're ranked 5th overall, but their defense is only ranked 64th. That's a problem. What do we talk about? When a team likes to run fast down the court, they throw a quick bucket. It doesn't go in. The other team picks up the rebound. Then they slow it down, grind it out. All of a sudden, they make a 2. You come back, you miss another 2 because you're running fast. And they take the ball and they grind it out. Furthermore, when the number 1 in college basketball is a dog of less than 4 points, they win outright. They're 13-5 outright. They're 14-4 against the spread. And furthermore, they're number 2 in a. I'm sorry, I blew that. They're number 2 in opponents per game and number 2 in opponents' field goals per game. So they're playing competition. They're out there running, dashing, and there's the intersecting 0. Florida is 0-11 against the spread when they have less than 7 days off a spread loss and made 28 or more points, 28 or more shots. Intersecting zeros for us on this Tennessee Vols program. I got 3.5. I'm good with 3. I told you I was a smidge away from taking the money line. Jump in, get set, let's go. I gotta go. I gotta keep her moving. If you tag my play on Rutgers under 78.5, you cashed last night. Shout out Jared Bush in the house. Movie tickets, recaps. Tennessee +3 is good money. Let's go. Swizz likes the Vols as well. Barry, number 2 in defense. Listen, that's where we want to exploit. We saw what the number 1 when they went out in Big 12 country against Oak State. Busted them up. That was a little different because they were laying, 13? 12.5, I think it was. 12.5. Don't play Pictionary with me. Don't play Pictionary with me. Maybe that's why the sports gambling thing works out. You can remember some of those things without having to write it down. Georgetown Marquette, the last game in the college hoops arena for you guys. 12-2. Georgetown rolling on to number 7 Marquette, 13-2. And both teams undefeated in conference play. This is another good one. You know, I flutter between, do I like to play the shit schools that maybe there's underlying value, or do I want to try to take some of these battles? I think as the season evolves, you'll probably see me get more into the schools where you're like, why the hell is he playing middle scumbag university and laying 22 points? You'll probably see more of that. But in the meantime, Georgetown, Marquette opened up with no movement. No movement. Frozen line. 75% of the bets and 82% of the cash. Line hasn't moved all day. It's a lot of points. Clearly. What we do have, though, is reverse movement on the total. It's gone from 146.5 to 146. And we have 64% of the bets and 64% of the cash on the over. So no movement on the total. The over's catching steam, and it's going to the under. And again, both these teams are undefeated in conference. They're playing phenomenal. Marquette is coming off a loss that did go, a spread loss. 79-71 against the Creighton Blue Jays. And that was a home game. So they did not cover the 10. Lofty numbers. That was such a hammer spot, too. I saw a trend on that thing for how Creighton was going to go out there and cover that spread, and I just missed it. And what's impressive is the spot where it's difficult to play. Nasty Nate knows this. Providence. Dunkin' Donuts Pavilion. 78-50. They went in there and they stomped on Providence. Stomped on them. Embarrassed them in a difficult barn to play in. Georgetown takes down Xavier. 69-63. Big W out there against Coppin. But Georgetown is an under machine. Furthermore, we've got 3 and 2 to the under for Marquette. So we got Georgetown under. In the dog roll, Georgetown is 1 and 2 to the under. In the favorite roll, they're 3 and 8 to the under. That's good for 4 and 10 to the under on the season. Georgetown under. Why do I keep saying that? Because Marquette is 13 and 0 to the under after a game in which they allowed 70 or more points and 4 or more free throws as a favorite. And these games are smoking the under. They're smoking the under by almost 14 points a game. We have Georgetown's an under team, 4 and 10 to the under on the season. And we have Marquette in a 13 and 0 to the under position. Get your position on this bookie. Smack this under. The number I locked in there was 146 and a half. I got that at FanDuel at minus 115. I like an under in this one. GOD says Junder or Jover. We're going Junder. Sir Mackey loves pies. Appreciate you, man. Sports Money, Pub Sports, and Razor Sharp are very good. Appreciate that, dude. Public Sports Storage says I hit 5 threes in a quarter for 8 minutes because North Carolina, I like them. All right. Can I touch on Arizona, West Virginia? The line seems fishy. I can. Bear with me for just one. Uno momento. We got a few minutes for this NBA stuff. So yeah, let me just take a peek here. I like to support my boys, see what they have to say. What do you say? Let's go. Let's get this. Bear with me. Bearing with me. Sorry, I had to add this. I added the Boston play, and I did not get the Boston play in on my book. So I added that literally at the last second before I started the show. Arizona, West Virginia. Let me see if we can throw that in the old trend machine here and come up with something on that one for you guys to take a look at. Arizona, West Virginia. I always think it's tough to play in West Virginia. Morgantown's a tough travel spot. There's a lot of distance from the airport to the arena itself, so that always kind of weighs with me. Hey, you got yourself a position out there. The big dog, the big home dog with a better win stat record. 182 and 94 for West Virginia. Just off the cuff, that was one I had scribbled out there. Let me see about. Takes a long day to build these out, so bear with me here. You have line movement towards Arizona, though. You have the public favorite, the road public favorite, 58% of the bets and 62% of the cash from -1.5 to now -4s. And I don't see any late buyback coming in. I see the totals dropped a point despite the cash coming in on the over. 57% and 58% on the over. It's gone from 144.5 to 143.5. So you do have a little bit of reverse line movement there. It's also a revenge spot to complicate things even further. That's a tricky spot. I mean, Arizona plays well on the road, so there's no question that should factor in there. I'd probably take Arizona. I'd probably lean to the cash in that one. Sorry, I can't give you more definitive. Just probably off the cuff what I kind of look at. Some of the things that I look at there, and I just think this line's moving in that direction for a reason. So probably the play. I don't know about the total. It didn't make my card, so I'm not trying to just give you a shot off the cuff of what I kind of think about the game at kind of further glance. You know, usually what happens is I'll look for the games I want to get involved with, and then I'll try to drill down from there and really focus in on those spots. I told you guys the other day, like I'll look at a big card And I'll find, when we talked about like that Houston spot or the Virginia spot, rather. Virginia was at home after a game that went over at home. I want to get back involved in that spot. So some of the games around there kind of get pushed out for me, and I just evaluate those teams from there. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. That Virginia under did cash, so I guess it was right. Sometimes I'm right, but it feels like I was wrong. And sometimes even when I'm wrong, I'm right. I'm not sure. I got this stuff. I got the Lakers for you guys. Hopefully I'm right on this one. This has got to be a spot right off the gate here. We look at this number. I mean, Dallas injured, fatigued. I will say the Charlotte Hornets were a sharp report special. 69% of the bets and 69% of the cash came in on the Lakers. It went from 3.5 to 6.5 and 7s. It did get as high as 7.5. Poked its head back to 7. I don't know that that's enough buyback. I'm not sure entirely what constitutes that, but it did come down a half a point from an hour ago. So for what it's worth, with that money coming in on the Lakers, I'd like to think it's sharp buyback. But you know why I don't think it's sharp buyback? Because the public loves Dallas. I don't think the public loves the Lakers anymore. I know the Lakers is a big media market. The Lakers are a big media market. Sorry, that was poor English. But I just feel like with Luka and the boys and seeing what they did last year in the Western Conference, like a lot of people, I know Luka's not in there, but a lot of people love the Mavericks. And so I envision that with a 7:30 start, we're getting closer to tip. 34,000 tickets in on this thing. I kind of feel like the public's just saying this is a lot of points for the Mavericks. Then the total's gone from 225.5 down to 218, and we have 87% of the bets and 88% of the cash on the over. Both teams are pretty comparable, 20 and 15 for the Lakers, 20 and 16 for the Mavericks. What are you going to say here? I mean, the Mavericks, they're getting busted up everywhere. Everywhere they turn, they got 4 of their last 5 games on the road. And they had a little shit schedule spot in between there. So they had 3 road games. Portland, they get busted up. They're favorites, they lose outright. They're playing the Kings. They're 8.5-point dogs. They don't cover the spread. They lose. They're playing the Rockets. That was the New Year's Day game at Houston. Small travel spot. They got busted up. 110 to 99. They were getting 4.5 points. They play the league best in Cleveland. One of the league best. They get busted up there. 12 points. They're getting 9.5. They're just not covering the spreads. The books don't know what number to put on this Dallas team because they don't know which team's going to show up day in and day out. So after they have that shit little schedule spot where they drop back home, they go out to Memphis. They go 119-104. And what do we have with the Lake Show? Well, this is one last important note. This is the second leg of a back-to-back with travel for the Mavericks. And we've got a 3-2 in their last 5 Lakers team. They did have travel. They were just at Houston. They did just cover. In fact, they've covered 4 of their last 5 games. They covered as a favorite, 119-102 at home against Atlanta. They covered as a 6.5-point favorite, 114-106 against Portland. They play the league best Cleveland. They get busted up, 122-110. And they bust up the Kings back at home again, 132-122. Luka out, Kyrie out, Exum out. LeBron James probable, Anthony Davis probable, Gabe Vincent probable. Those are the big things you need to know about this line here. And again, I think this is just the public coming back and saying this is a lot of points for Dallas. They're thinking maybe less of LeBron and AD in the boys, but they're fully rested. I mentioned Dallas is on that second leg of a back-to-back with travel. And they're just getting busted up. They're not competing, is what it comes down to. The Lakers are trying to push forward. The Lakers just made an acquisition. They're feeling pretty good. They're 5th in the West, and they're playing 6th. So this is a big game where they got to focus in, drill down, and go kick some ass. And in my estimation, they do just that. I'm on the Lakers in this spot. I like the what did I like? Follow me at PetSnap. Mikey Money. 6.5. I got the 6.5 at -105. This is a bad schedule spot for Dallas. That's just what it comes down to. I mean, they're beat up, they're tired, there's nobody playing. They got a Lakers team that's coming in surging, feeling better after the All-Star or after the Christmas break. You got to play the Lakers in this thing. You could probably even consider a double up. If I had my double dip, I might show the double dip first half and full game. But I mean, the Mavericks just lost by 15 points. And it's almost an identical number to what we have today. Just reading the line in this one, it tells you got to jump it on the Lakers. Not to mention all those other variables that I just added. So I'm on the Lakers. I laid the 6.5. Am I good at 7? Yeah, I'm good at 7. Yeah. Yeah, I envision they win by 12 or 13, just like we saw the Lakers or the Dallas Mavericks lose the other day. I think that's a really good spot to take a shot at it. So Jared Bush likes the over 218.5 in the Lakers. Gavin Lux to the Reds. Yeah, we saw that. Gavin Lux to the Reds. There's Redbeard. Took the Lakers first. I like that. I like it. Sneaky Ninja. It's hard to find value in an era of NBA. The teams are so inconsistent. Bookmakers are set. Tell you what. I don't know if it's the second best, but we're having a pretty good NBA run through the month of December. Once we got past that in-season tournament, we've been fairly consistent, I'll say. Fairly consistent. I believe in the jinx. I do. You won't see me change a team jersey or a shirt in the middle of a game. If you start the game with the shirt, you end the game with the shirt. If you start the game without the shirt, you end the game without the shirt. I'm a full out, I believe in the jinx. Maybe that means I have too much money on the game. I'm not sure. All right, last game on the card. I got a double dip. This is the double dipper. And I think this is one of those spots where we just talked about the tired legs. Man, you got to love this prop that I've got. I think has got to be I almost parlayed the prop together. I'll tell you how I thought about playing it. Let me tell you about the splits. We got the late night special. Got a couple late nighters tonight. No wonder. I'm up till fucking 3 a.m. The Heat and the Warriors. Line steam and 65% of the bets, 68% of the cash on the Heat. And we've got reverse line movement. We've got a total that's got reverse line movement. 218.5 has dropped to 215.5 with all the money coming in on the over in the 80 percentiles. And then we look at these two teams. Warriors at home again. I don't know who made the Warriors schedule. They are on a home stand and a half. And they just got busted up 129.99 to the Sacramento Kings. They did play 3 games in 4 nights over that stretch. So I guess I could kind of get that. But when they're not playing, when they play Cleveland, they lose 113.95. Okay. They were dogs in that spot at home anyways. The bookmakers didn't think highly of that whatsoever. But on the other side of things, if you haven't been paying attention, they don't want to play in Miami. Shout out to Ramon Scott. He talked about this on the morning steam today. He's like, I don't know what's going on with South Beach. Nobody wants to play down there. Tyreek Hill, I told you guys this at the start of this season. Tyreek Hill wants to be the alpha. His coach is the alpha. His coach called him out after they lost that game at the end of last season. I commented on it. I said that was going to be an issue. He was challenging him in front of the locker room saying, you didn't do enough for us to win the game. Now, Tyreek Hill was like, oh, that's my dog. But in the back of his mind, he's probably thinking, fuck you, bro. The fuck? You're not out there, Mike McDaniel. You don't do well against good teams. And he wants out. Now, this Jimmy Butler thing with the issues and the double-digit game suspensions, he wants out. That's not a buy-on spot. Start right there. Let's just start right there. And on top of that, you got the Golden State Warriors trying to bounce back with a big number. Why is the big number important? Because Golden State goes out there and kicks the shit out of teams when they've got a big number. And where did it go? Shit. The Warriors in the bounce back spot as heavy favorites are 8-0 when they're not more than 2-point dogs, coming off a game where they failed to cover by 24 or more points. We've got the Golden State Warriors. Here's the deal. When I talked about this kind of this rest situation with these two teams overall, the second leg of the back-to-back, we know that's a bad spot to be for the NBA teams. Those teams tend to go over. Compound that. Miami fucked me real good last night on a live betting spot. because they went to double overtime and got busted up in that double overtime. They were getting 4. They lose by 5. Couldn't just lose by 1 in the first overtime for me and let me get my cash. No. And now what happens is teams in that position playing a team off a loss against a team that lost in overtime. 105 and 58 against the spread are those teams. 105 and 58 is that 2-to-1 number that we look for. So I laid the wood. I laid it -9 with Golden State Warriors. But I didn't stop there. I took Golden State -9. I got it -109 at Bet Rivers. But I took a player prop. I was going to add the player prop together. The player prop's +120. When I added Golden State to it, it only went, this was going to be Golden State money line. It only went to 167, I think it was. And I always say only, it's 47 cents a movement. That's a pretty good look. But what I found at the end of that thing was, well, I think Golden State's going to bust these boys up. We're seeing that historically in the NBA. This is a bust them up spot. So where did I look to on the other side? If they're going to bust them up, what happens if you're getting busted up? You sit your star players. Well, star players who just went out there and put up a triple-double against the Sacramento Kings. Now, it took them double overtimes to do it, but that being said, it really only took them 46 minutes. Hawkins, crushing it. But he's played 80 minutes of basketball. Look it up. 80 minutes of basketball in his last 3 days. And if they're getting busted up, besides that triple-double, he's had 4 or less rebounds in 4 straight games. And 5 of his last 6 have gone under 4 rebounds or less. Collectively, I slapped those two together. I found under 4.5 rebounds for Jaquez, +120. I opted to play it separate because I don't like playing unders and props. I'm going to try it. I'm going to try to be a little bit more respectful to the unders and the props. But if they do get blown out, and the guys played 80 minutes in 3 days, and there's nobody that wants to play in Miami but that dude. For some reason, he'd like to go from UCLA all the way over to Miami, but that's his prerogative. I just don't think they want a chance gassing him out and injuring him and then have nothing left after that. So I think at the end of the day, the best play in that spot is the Golden State Warriors -9. Take Jaquez under 4.5 rebounds at +120. And that's how we're going to go to the window, boys and girls. That's a night. That's going to be a fun slate to watch. I hope you guys enjoy this stuff as much as I do, man. I like to have a lot of fun. I like to get that cash with you guys. I try to come out here and give you the best bets I can every day. The only thing I ask you to do is smash the thumbs up button. Maybe become a member. We are listener supported. We need your guys' help to grow this channel. And anything you guys can do to help promote the brand. Rep us, talk to us out there on the reel. Let them know. Tell a friend. Hey, these guys are putting content out there. Lots of content on the regular. Plays all over the place. And if you're having trouble with the community tab, reach out to me on X. We'll get you guys steering in the right direction. C. James, Thomas Maggio, Jared Bush. Appreciate Sneaky Ninja in the house. J. Dub. Appreciate you guys hanging out. Fernando Mendoza. There's Trisha M in the house. Rocking with us. Juggler 23. My man, Ramon Scott. What a great show he did there. Guys, check it out. If you haven't seen it already and you're looking to get an early bead on some UFC action for Fight Night, we're going to start live at 3:30 on Saturday, but you can go check out the VB MMA Pick Show with Ramon Scott. MMA Wiz. Guys were crushing it today. They gave you, I believe it was 3 plays, including a breakdown on the main event. Shout out to all you guys rocking with us here. Sweaty Ninja, AOD. Sir Mackie loves pie. AOD. Appreciate Timmy Two Shoes in the house. Shout out to all you guys, but you got to get to work. You got to go put those bets in, get that cash, and then come back here tomorrow, 9 a.m. Check my man out, Ramon Scott at the Morning Steam. I'll be back with you guys at 6 p.m. for Pregaming. Till then, good luck.